hate and the division must stop, and must stop right now. I'm gonna let it shine, oh, in Charlottesville. I'm gonna let it shine, oh,
Right now, one person is dead and more than 24 others injured after that incident you saw. The governor calling for a state of emergency.
And now more developing news out of Charlottesville right now after state police helicopter went down tonight. ABC 13 is on top of this breaking news story with team coverage for you on this day of tragedy that's so close to home. We've got every angle covered.
ABC 13's Marissa Parra is live at the scene of where that car crash happened. But first, let's get to Whitney Burney. She was at the scene of where that helicopter has gone down. Whitney?
Mark, that's right. We're here on, we're near Birdwood Golf Course in Charlottesville, and we were told that there was a helicopter crash over back here. Now, we spoke to a couple of neighbors who say that they heard a loud crash. They came outside and saw smoke billowing in the air. You can see Virginia State Police is on the scene. Albemarle County Police is on the scene. We're still working to confirm details, but we do know at this point that the FSA is investigating this crash. Like we said, police have just gotten here. This is a really, really fresh scene, but this is all we know at this point.
And thank you so much, Whitney. And she will have more coverage on that in just a few minutes. And now we want to go live to ABC 13's Marissa Parra. She is live from the scene of where that car plowed into a group of people.
That's right, Marissa. What's the very latest? Fill us in.
Well, Mark and Carrie, right now we are on the downtown mall in Charlottesville. You can see the police are lined up right behind us here. We're about a block away from where that happened. I'm going to have my photographer try to zoom in. You can see, well, he says we can't see right now. There are a few articles of clothing scattered over there. We can't get beyond this barricade because they are still investigating that scene, of course. But what we know is one person is dead. At least 19 are injured. The city confirms that at least one person who was a driver is arrested. You cannot see the other two vehicles that were in this crash here, but what we understand is that it was a very different scene a couple hours ago. You're about to see video from the tragic scene on 4th and Water Street where one person died, 19 were injured. And not even a mile away, we actually stumbled upon what many are saying is the vehicle that was used in that crowd plowing. As you can see, it very closely matches the description of the vehicle we saw in the video earlier. It's not confirmed, however. You can see the vehicle there was roped off by police. There was a forensic unit out there. It had significant damage, yet there were no other cars around. So again, it's not confirmed, but it very closely matches the description of that vehicle. And again, we did learn that driver was apprehended. Within the last half hour, we spoke to a witness who says in his 30 years of living in Charlottesville, he has never seen anything quite like this.
Had sped down 4th Street into a whole group of people that were peacefully marching up the street, and apparently he just plowed at a high rate of speed towards them and then smashed into a Toyota Camry. And who then hit another car, and those two cars are still there as part of the crime scene. And then apparently then he backed up and did it again and rammed into some more people.
Clashes breaking out even before the scheduled rally for 12 p.m. ABC 13's Whitney Burney was also there and explains what both sides have to say.
By authority of the Commonwealth of Virginia, this event has been declared an unlawful assembly. You are to leave the area now, or you will be arrested.
A state of emergency.
Racists go home! It didn't matter whether it was George Washington or Robert E. Lee, or for that matter, Abraham Lincoln. You know, they were people 150 years ago.
I'm glad it's getting torn down. The Confederate War, the Confederacy, the Civil War is not something to be memorialized.
The two sides going back and forth all morning. This comes after state officials announced plans to tear down Confederate monuments in Charlottesville.
The definition of white supremacy is the definition of profit over humanity.
I think it's a historical monument and it should stay where it's at.
The protests ending before it even got started. Crowds forced to disperse 30 minutes after the rally's official start time.
going on here it's atrocious.
Seen a lot of violence from both sides.
There is anti-white Christian culture.
I'm here for my ancestors. I'm here for my peers, for my family.
With messages for folks on the other side.
We need to push and resist against this right now. This wouldn't have happened a couple of years ago. This cannot be the norm.
All right, Whitney Burney reporting. We continue to follow breaking news out of Charlottesville tonight, where Governor Terry McAuliffe is expected to address the media about all of the events in Charlottesville today. We hope to bring that to you live when it happens. Right now, though, we want to go back live to Marissa Parra, who is in downtown Charlottesville.
Marissa, what are you seeing?
Well, Mark and Carrie, the situation has calmed down a lot from an hour or a couple hours ago, rather. We're at downtown Charlottesville. You can see police are at the ready just in case. This is a block away from when a vehicle had crashed into a crowd of people where one person died. At least 19 people were injured. Now, again, a vastly different situation and scene right here now. You can hear loud music is being played. We're not going to pan down over there right now because not all of them are wearing clothes, but it is a peaceful situation. There are people. We're going to pan over this way. You can see people are walking around here. There's more media than there are protesters, actually. There's police, and we are going to stay on top of this situation. Dan, if you can come back around here, we're going to toss it back to you guys. But again, we'll have the very latest on air and online.
Thank you so much, Marissa. Governor Terry McAuliffe is speaking about everything that has happened today in Charlottesville.
That's right. Let's take a live look at where he is speaking to the media. There he is right now at the Albemarle office building. Let's listen in if we can.
Courageous UVA college students yesterday who last evening surrounded the statue of Thomas Jefferson to protect that statue. And I have a message to all the white supremacists and the Nazis who came into Charlottesville today. Our message is plain and simple. Go home. You are not wanted in this great Commonwealth. Shame on you. You pretend that you're patriots, that you are anything but a patriot. You want to talk about patriots, talk about Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, who brought our country together. You think about the patriots today, the young men and women who are wearing the cloth of our country. Somewhere around the globe, they're putting their life in danger. They're patriots. You are not.
ABC 13 has team coverage of the chaos in Charlottesville, a rally by white nationalists protesting the removal of Robert E. Lee statues, a rally that turned dangerous and deadly.
It's now been confirmed the protests are linked to a state police helicopter crash that killed both people inside. Marissa Parra, Chris Hoffman, and Whitney Burney are all live in Charlottesville right now.
Chilling video shows protesters flying through the air, caught off guard by the car plowing into them.
And saw them doing CPR on a woman who I believe has since passed away. Broken bones, I saw lacerations of the face.
Scott Stroney has roamed the Charlottesville area for 3 decades, but he's never seen anything quite like this.
The person in the car had sped down 4th Street into a whole group of people that were peacefully marching up the street, and apparently he just plowed at a high rate of speed towards them.
But the driver wasn't done.
And apparently then he backed up and did it again and rammed into some more people.
Before the driver could be stopped, he sped off.
The whole bumper was dragging the front and the back end, and it was going at a high rate of speed.
Hours later, a vehicle closely matching the description of the one that mowed people down was found just a mile away. That driver apprehended, but back at the scene, an unsettling calm. Belongings lay scattered across the ground from the crash. The lights are off and the doors are closed for business downtown, and police outnumber pedestrians.
The feel right now is pretty much everybody's scared and wants to stay inside.
A far cry from the normally lively downtown.
In all the years that I've been here, there's never been anything like this before. So it's really devastating, I think, to the whole community.
And we are just learning the charges that James Fields is facing: 1 count of second-degree murder, 3 counts of malicious wounding, and failing to stop at the scene of an accident that resulted in death. The AP also reports a woman who identified herself as the mother of Fields says he told her he was going to a rally. Samantha Bloom of Ohio confirmed details about her son's car and his trip to Virginia, saying she received a text from him that he was going.
We have confirmed the 2010 Dodge Charger that crashed into that crowd was registered to Fields. The car had Ohio plates.
A state police helicopter crashed in Charlottesville, claiming 2 lives.
ABC 13's Whitney Burney was on the scene shortly after it happened. She joins us live from the crash site with more in the investigation that is just beginning. Whitney?
Carrie, Mark, we're back in the neighborhood where that fiery crash of that helicopter did go down. A sense of shock out here tonight. Now, we are confirming that that helicopter did in fact belong to the Virginia State Police, and 2 are now dead as a result of that crash. Their names: Lieutenant H.J. Cullen from Midlothian and Trooper Pilot Burke M.M. Bates from Quentin. Police say both died at the scene. It happened just before 5 p.m. Neighbors tell me they heard a loud crash, came outside and saw smoke billowing, and saw that there was a helicopter down. No one on the ground was injured. Police have cleared most of the crash site at this point. Both the FFA and NTSB are investigating. The cause of the crash is unknown at this time. We're also learning that Bates's birthday was tomorrow. He would have turned 41, and this is still a developing story. We'll continue to bring you details as they arise and as police release them. Live in Charlottesville, Whitney Burney, ABC 13 News.